Hi, everyone. Nick Fasciano here with the Idaho Wildlife Federation and the weekly IWF legislative recap. Talk about everything hunting, fishing, wildlife, habitat, and access related that made it through the legislature this past week. So things starting to pick up down at the Statehouse. We saw a handful of bills introduced that we're keeping an eye on and expect more to come very, very soon. So the Farm Bureau actually introduced a couple of bills. One was Senate Bill 1011. This has to do with winter feeding advisory committees. So there's one of these in every fishing game region. It's made up to 5 individuals, which will decide on whether or not winter feeding for deer, elk, and pronghorn is required and sort of how to do that. This bill stipulates that at least one of those members needs to be an agricultural producer. So this will be the first bill passed into statute where any stakeholder group is called out specifically. And so understand where it's coming from, just given the overlap with ag on the winter feeding side, but we really do want to make sure that sportsmen's interests and wildlife interests are also fully represented. And these committees have tended to skew towards sportsmen in the past, but we want to make sure that sportsmen and wildlife remain a strong focus. And so we'll be working through that. Another bill that the Farm Bureau introduced was Senate Bill 1013. This has to do with trapping and basically just says that someone who has not yet obtained a trapping license can go into the field with someone who's licensed to take them out as a trapper, kind of an apprenticeship outfitter model. We have similar types of stipulations in other sporting areas. Seems like a good natural extension for trappers. Also, some educational requirements thrown in there about not tampering with traps and private property. So looks like a good bill for trappers. So optimistic we'll be able to support that. Another bill that came through on the House side, House Bill 57. This is basically a extension of the Parks Passport, which includes some dedicated funding for non-motorized access and helping to address a maintenance backlog there to help get people further out into the woods. So seems like a pretty innocuous, pretty good bill there. Another way we spent our time this week was on the rules side. And so uh, last year, House Bill 591 passed, which rolled back some of the precautions that domestic cervid operations will have to take in the event they got a positive chronic wasting disease test. And as we all saw, much to our chagrin earlier this year, we did see 2 positive tests in 2 separate captive cervid facilities, one in Jefferson and one in Madison counties. And so while the rulemaking process this week was just to align the rules of what was passed in statute last year, we do want to make sure that every precaution is taken, given the increasing risk of CWD transmission across the state. And so we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on that process. So again, things starting to pick up. We're at the point in the year now we're expecting more and more bill introductions to come pretty fast and furious. So IWF will be down there every single day. So follow along, and we'll make sure that everyone is kept in the loop. Thanks.